what I've noticed is because the thing about growing up in an African-American community prepares you a lot for Africa. It really does. But what you might see is somebody might be like, oh man, I really want to work with you. Yeah, we're going to do this and that. And you think that person actually is serious, but then you like, come to find out it's not. How many African-Americans in Ghana set up tours? They got paid too, right?
Yep.
How many African-Americans in Ghana that have fashion shows? They got paid too. How many African-Americans have businesses in Ghana and hotels that people stayed at? They got paid too. So let's not act like, African-Americans in Ghana didn't benefit off your return, because they did. Also, how prepared are you to train? Because a lot of people have what I call the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is they believe that they are smarter and more talented than they actually are. And then when you come to the continent of Africa, you'll find out that you're really not as bright and as smart as you are, and you're unrealistic. A lot of people think because they came from America and that Africa is Africa, that you're somehow more educated, you are an entrepreneur in America. And then when you come here, you feel like your style of education is fit for the environment. And really a lot of that goes out of the door, because the way that business transactions happen in Nairobi, it happened in Uganda, it's not the same as the West.
Uncle. 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 Yenelele. 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 Yeah, yeah. Kenzo. Yeah, yeah. Lekanzene. Nenzina mo mama. Bola mo wajsera. Atomo ziki zuri sana. Lekanzene. Nenzina mo mama. Bola mo wajsera. Atomo ziki zuri sana. Sicharosi, 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 Dibosi, Sicharosi, dance, dance, clap for me, everybody clap for me, clap for me, Africa clap for me,
Jumbo, good people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, because today I'm hosting one of your favorites. I don't even know. Are you people's favorite?
No, I'm probably one of the most hated people in Black YouTube. But I don't give a damn.
All right. So today we're going to be hosting the founder of Ken-Ganda, and we're going to just learn some few tips, business and all that. So let's first give him an opportunity to introduce him. His handsome self.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Oshay Duke Jackson. I'm from Sacramento, California. Glad to be here in Nairobi, Kenya, in Kilauea. Kilauea.
It's bougie.
Yeah. So glad to be out here. I got a lot of friends in Nairobi, so whenever I come by, they gotta always harass me. All the time.
We have to. Ken-Ganda, today we're going to have a different kind of interview, different from what we had last time. As a Kenyan, I want to find out Ken-Ganda. I know it's Kenya, Uganda. Why Uganda and not Kenya? Because everybody, when they think about Ken-Ganda, or when they hear about Ken-Ganda, they know Uganda, Kampala, and all that. Why not Kenya?
Well, I believe that, because Ken-Ganda is both. But the home base is Uganda, and so there was a popular YouTuber that I knew here that was in this city, and I wanted to start the base here in Nairobi, but unfortunately that fell through. So when that fell through, that didn't give me a lot of contact, because it was me, Warden Maya, and another person, and then that all dissolved. So when that dissolved, because Kenya actually would have been more of a better choice, because you have more of the tech community here, you have the gaming community here, you have the internet. So when all that fell through, I had two options. I could just quit and forget about it, or I could go to Uganda. So I just said, well, let me try to prove everybody wrong and go to Uganda, and that's how it happened. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So apart from that, what factors influenced you? Now, talking about business, you also the factors that you look at before you establish a business. So you could have as well said, okay, fine, they've not working with me, I can still go solo and start it in Kenya. So what factors did you consider, or why is it that when you got to Uganda, you felt that it was the most suitable place for you to start the business?
I think because I had spent more time there initially, and I knew more people, so that's kind of where it was, because I didn't really know anybody at the time. I met you my second time here,
Yeah.
but at that time you were just starting out yourself.
Yeah.
So but I wanted to deal with people that maybe that were not YouTubers, and that's what I did. So I went to people that were not YouTubers and asked them if they wanted to try it. Because to be honest, working with YouTubers is a very, very challenging thing. So I've learned that. So I typically don't try to do a lot of long-term collaborations with other YouTubers. So I think it's always good to try to convert people who are not YouTubers into the space, because that's kind of how I did it. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how successful would you say Ken-Ganda is?
5.
5.
Yeah.
So you still have work to do.
Yeah, 5. It was -5. But now I would say it's 5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, I know, of course, I knew you. I remember when you're starting out and all that, and of course, a lot of determination, pushing, and all that. But why do you think there's some African diaspora, African Americans, or just Africans who are coming from the diaspora, don't get to make it on that continent? You really want me to answer that? Yeah, I want to know, why is it that some people don't get to make it? I mean, for you, it's like really, I've watched your journey, and I'm like, okay, this is like,
Yeah.
as much as you say it's a 5, I would give it an 8. So.
Yeah. I would say that you've heard of the Sailors, the rap group here.
Yeah, Sailors Gang.
Sailors Gang. So that group is signed to Black Market, who's a good friend of my family, Cedric Singleton. He's also from Sacramento. And he's doing very well in the Kenya and Uganda region, because everybody knows about his groups. So if you're in Uganda, you know about Daddy Andre. And the thing about it is that he's been doing the business for 31 years. So when he comes to Kenya, the only adjustment is, how do Kenyans do business and how does the market work? That's the only challenge. For me, I was already in the social media content, and I kind of was in the Pan-African space, although people didn't know that I was, because you met me, Waldemar met me, I met Miss Trudy. So I was already going back and forth with people, but they didn't know that I was actually in the space. So, but I was already in this business. I know how this business works. I've learned from some really good people. The problem with a lot of African Americans is that when they want to come to Africa, they were maybe working at a job or corporation, and then you have to come to entrepreneur, and then you don't have the staff around you and the people around you that you transfer from one place to another. Like I had Demo before I came, I had Jonita, so I had picked up some pieces along the way. So when I started to come, I had some infrastructure, and I just added along the way. A lot of African Americans or diasporans, when they come, they're switching careers. So whatever job that they were doing, you can't do it here, or maybe not effectively here, and they haven't been an entrepreneur before. So now you're in a new place, new environment. You don't know that you're now the owner. You train the talent. You have to get up and get the work day done every day. And those are the challenges. And, because in Africa, it's kind of like kill or be. You got to kill or be killed every day. And if that's not your mentality, you're not going to do well here. So for me, I was already managing talent that I had. I was already building an infrastructure. My infrastructure was already set. I just needed to know how things worked a little bit. So I would say that if you're the most successful people are going to be able to be doing something already and just bring it here. Because you got to have some kind of advantage. You can't just come with nothing or a cell phone and, how we call it, struggle vlogging. And then all of a sudden you're going to become a great entrepreneur on the continent. Or because you're from America, you're going to do well here in Africa. It doesn't work that way. You got to have some sort of advantage. So that has to be your advantage. Whatever you've been doing is your advantage. Because if you come here and you don't, let's say if you're not into farming, you don't know how to, and you're learning a new thing on the fly, 99% you're going to fail.
How did you build your team? How did you build your team? How did you get to meet the people, and how can Africa diaspora who are coming build their team? Because I see over time you've built a very strong team. Yeah.
So I was using Upwork.com.
Upwork?
So Upwork.com was, I know that my skill set was in video editing. So Upwork is where I met a guy from Russia named Dima. So Dima was very, very talented as an editor. Almost everybody knows who Dima is. It's on my channel. And Dima helped me create all the presets for Ken-Ganda and from the Oshay Duke Jackson channel. So he really stepped up the things that I could do to make my content different from other people. It necessarily wasn't getting views, but it was just different, and it was something that you can build on. So from there, I met William Maya in Kenya in 2018. And he was shooting, and then one of the videographers that was working with him went to Multi-Choice. That was Tati. And he went to a 1-year internship with DSTV. And then when he came back, where he was working at before already was replaced. So then I told him, once you come back, don't worry about getting a job. We're going to move into, move you to Uganda, whatever. Then the guy that he recommended to replace him, he ended up leaving that place, and he came too.
Oh, wow.
So I have 2 Kenyans on our team. So 2 Kenyans, one is now living in Uganda. So then we got Jonita. I met her through her sister Pimaya, so we kept her. Jonita brought me Kim. I met Shalom. Shalom brought me Kwesi. So people that knew people, and if they were good, I kept them. Now I've been through problems with all of them, because you know me, I could be somewhat of an ass, but I was able to maintain all of our talent. And even when Ken-Ganda stopped producing for 4 or 5 months, for Jonita, I kept paying her to let her know I was committed. So I kept all of our people and let people know. I made the sacrifice to let all the staff know that I was committed. Even sometimes with Dima, I was losing $1,000 a month. You remember, because with Ken-Ganda, I was losing at $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month. And you were telling me, just go ahead and keep doing it. I was like, but I'm losing so much money. But it was just that people had to get used to being on camera. People had to get used to, everything. So now it's doing very well. But it was just finding the talent and then maintaining it. That's the hardest part. It's just, can you maintain it? Can you coach? Can you train? And so that's another part of the thing that when you come to continent Africa, you are not just the boss. You develop. And then you have to put the systems in place that people can follow. For example, like Peter. Peter gets up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. So me and Peter have a system. I know what time he gets up, I know what time Dima gets up. So when the first batch of work goes out, Peter in Kenya is going to be able to get it. Because he's up, he can do it, boom, right away we upload it. Then Dima comes in the night. So now we have a system of who works at what time. But it just comes to managing the talent, investing in the equipment that the talent can be developed, because guys get better in Premiere, they get better in After Effects, they get better. We're Adobe Studio. So it's just bringing people along. And then also people who want to learn, like Jonita can edit, she can use Adobe Premiere. Shalom is using Adobe Premiere. And just buying the equipment that you invest into the people and you invest into the business. So that's how it works.
How many employees do you have right now?
So there's Kim, there's Kwesi, there's Dima, there's Tati, there's Shalom, there's Joan, there's Pimaya, there's at least 8.
Wow, that's...
And it's flexible, so some people still have their own, like for Kim and Kwesi, they still do their own photography work. There's nothing I do, they go do for me, I don't care. So it's still flexible. They even use my machines to do their work.
Okay, and what has been your major challenge setting all this up?
The major challenge was the equipment. It was finding out, how do I get equipment reliable? Shout out to UG Unlocked. And then also I want to give a shout out to a brother that's here in Kenya, UK Dukas, because I was able to order some headphones from him and it got to Peter. So it was just knowing who are the companies that can bring, because for people who edit, because the challenge is for the editors, they can't afford very expensive equipment like that, right? Because even in America, a PC is $3,000. So in Uganda, Kenya, it's like double because of the stuff. So it's how do you get these things to them? So I was able to find out, without using DHLE Africa, because that's nonsense, what are the shippers that bring into the country, and then can you start building the PCs, stuff like that. So that was the hardest part. And once we got that, that was the biggest problem. The only other problem is power going out here and there. And then putting in new concepts into the business. But other than that, those were the biggest problems. And I think we've had most of our hurdles. The hard times have passed. And now it's just keeping up the work rate.
Did you have any shocking realizations once? Because I know this time round you've been on the continent. This has to be the longest duration that you've been on the continent. Are there things that you've learned, whether socially, business-wise, or anything that you are like, wow, I never knew this. I've been here several times.
Oh, yeah, sure. What I've noticed is, because the thing about growing up in an African-American community prepares you a lot for Africa. It really does. But what you might see is somebody might be like, oh man, I really want to work with you. Yeah, we're going to do this and that. And you think that person actually is serious, but then you like, come to find out it's not. So what I found out is if I want people to take me serious, for me to close them, I need to maybe offer money up front. For example, there's a popular DJ, I won't call his name, here in Nairobi, where I was introduced to him through DJ Nacello. And Nacello is a big time DJ. He's like, yo, this is such and such. But the brother has a clothing line. So I know I wanted to meet him. So I was like, look, I'm about to spend 20,000 Kenyan shillings on your shirts, bro. Just bring them by. And that let him know that I was serious. So when he knows I'm serious, now he'll want to
20,000 Kenyan shillings?
Yeah.
20, wow, okay. So
it's like $200. So, yeah. But it lets him know that I'm serious. And from there, you know, I've noticed that if I'm able to go into a business and show that I'm gonna pay up front, that I want to be their customer, people want to work with me because it's not that they need the money, but it's like, oh, you're not a person that just talking.
Yeah.
I think that happens in the African community, in the African American community. People always have good ideas and they're running their mouth. But if you're in Africa, it's not that you're just an American. That's not going to get you through. You got to be able to provide like, okay, here's the reason why I want to do business with this guy, because he's going to pay, he's consistent, he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And I've noticed that, you know, if you do that here, it goes more a long way. So that was probably the biggest thing that I've learned, that, you know, just because you're getting introduced to people, it doesn't mean anything unless money is transaction. So if you can do that and you can transact on some deals, it helps you a long way, because people appreciate it.
Yeah, I kind of think so. But have you also had an incident whereby maybe you spent thinking that the person was also serious and then you find that the person was not serious?
No. I've never had that. I've never had that situation. I think it's because, like, again, I grew up in an African-American community, and I never had a problem being scammed. I only got scammed one time at the mobile money place, where the dude charged me like $1 for sending some money. but as far as the business people, I've always had a good experience, because I hang out at co-working spaces. I hang out with the professional community, people who are trying to do stuff. So I always have, I've never had any problem really on the business deal here, ever. It's always been that. I've always gotten everything I paid for.
Okay. Talking about finances, are you interested in building your credit so that you can have finances to relocate, build, or invest on the continent? Well, www.creditbuildingmasterclass.com is the place to go. And in case you're watching this video, you can find the link on how to access this book free of charge in the pinned comment, as well as in the description box. Go ahead, let's do this. One concern that I've had on my platform, a lot of people, especially based on the previous series that I was doing, the returnee series, and you know, this things that we've been doing, just sharing information, sharing about relocating to the continent and all that. I've had a lot of issues, both in the comments, in the emails, people talking that, oh, you guys just want to, you want our money, you just want us to come, you guys are begging us so that you can come and spend our money on you. How do you feel about that?
Are these African Americans saying that?
Yeah.
So you just want us to come to Africa?
Because of our money.
So Africans want African Americans to come to Africa because
of their money.
Well, I mean, I mean, there's probably, I can see where somebody would say that, because if you look at the year of return, the African countries that want to target the diaspora, the people that they want to target are the African American community. Even Woody Mine said, if you're an African YouTuber, who do you target? You target African Americans, right? But at the same time, let's not get it twisted. There are a lot of Africans here that have a lot of money. Like Nairobi is a well-developed city. If you didn't know, you might feel like you're in Europe in certain places. So there are people here that are talented, that have money, that are very educated, they're very bright. And the people that say that, oh, you want us to come to Africa because you want to spend our money, I think those people are not serious about coming in the first place. That's just an excuse or an ad hominem. And the people that are probably responding to that don't have money to begin with. So, you're always going to have people who are unsuccessful that are going to talk like that. However, I think that the continent of Africa, for African Americans who are talented, who bring something to the space, I think that it's an opportunity, because when we look at blacks on the continent of Africa, we're going to look at them not as like, how a white person would or a Chinese person would, especially some of us who are coming from the, the Dr. Claude Anderson, Henry Clark, the Dr. Amos Wilson, the Malcolm X thought of poor black. We're going to accept these people as more of our own and as equals and as partnerships. So when the African continent can leverage that, then it's like, okay, well, I want to help you get into the business, more so, or try. And that's what African Americans a lot of times will do, if they're on the continent of Africa, they'll try to be a little bit more understanding, because we understand what has happened to the people in America and in Africa. But people will say that, the African countries want our money. I think I saw a video that you did $1.9 billion Ghana got, and they didn't get anything. But I mean, you have to understand how many African Americans in Ghana set up tours. They got paid too, right?
Yep.
How many African Americans in Ghana that have fashion shows? They got paid too. How many African Americans have businesses in Ghana and hotels that people stayed at? They got paid too. So let's not act like, African Americans in Ghana didn't benefit off your return, because they did. They did. The African American Association of Ghana is there. So you have African Americans who benefit off of tourism, because the thing about it is why? Because African Americans want to go to Ghana, because I hate to say this, I know this is being long with it. Ghanaians cannot get African Americans to come to Ghana. African Americans get African Americans to come to Ghana, because we're the same. Not that we're all the same people, but we have the same culture. So if we see, the Eat Love Migrates or the Native Borns, it's like, oh, well, then they're in Africa doing this. Okay, I can see myself. Okay, now I want to go and book with them. And then maybe on the continent, I might think. So, the diasporans who are in Ghana are the ones that bring the other diasporans. So, I just don't understand the argument.
You personally feel that it was beneficial, as much as you've created employment to 8 people, you feel it was also beneficial to you? Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. They're the ones helping me too. So it's not like, I'm not been the person that says, oh man, I'm in the continent, we giving jobs and opportunities, and yet, you paying somebody $30 a month, something like that. Because we don't want to be, for me, it's different from other people. Some people are cheap with their money. For me, our payroll can run, depending on the month, $6,500 in a month, $7,000 a month. Me personally, because we give them things. So, for me, is as a Pan-African person with strong leanings, it is our job to develop people in the African American community and people that we work with in Africa. Because why? If they're talented, you need to push people into the business. Right? If a problem for the brothers and sisters that are videographers or in the creative industry, if they have less equipment and these people are helping you get money, then it's our duty to invest into these people, right? Because why? Many people invested into us. I'm African American, some people that were slaves before my mother and father, they made sacrifices so that I could do things, right? And pull me into where I'm at now. My grandmother can never fathom. Right now, we're in this apartment that's $2,000 a month. My grandmother would never fathom she would ever come to Africa and be able to do this. But her sacrifices allowed me to be able to do this now, right? So, it's about bringing people into in partnering, as they help, you develop, and then you build loyalty like that. You know, because I don't want nobody coming taking any of our talented people away from me, so I have to make the extra effort to do so.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just what it is.
All right. Lastly, do you have any other tips or advice for anyone who wants to set up business on the continent? I know you've shared this before, but any other thing that you'd want anyone who's interested in relocating to the continent and setting up a business to know?
All right, I'll try to make it short because there's so much that you could say on that. But I would say, if a person is looking at coming to Africa, you know, let's talk about the hot spots. You know, there's Gambia, there's Ghana, and there's Tanzania. Those are the three right now people are really talking about. Rwanda, right? Those are the four. If you're going to any of these places, number one, have you been there first? I think it's a very immature thing for people to, you know, like I said, they just jump and move. Because if you jump and move, you can't really analyze. And that's the thing. You want to analyze. People say, well, I don't have enough money to go, to keep going and coming back. Then probably, in my opinion, you don't need to go. This is an ongoing thing. I've been to the continent not 1, 2, 3, 4, but 11 different times. And the thing about it is each time you come, you know more. So I would say, do you know what the opportunities are? Like, say, for example, if you're in Uganda, it might be harder to get somebody in the creative industry than in, like, say, Kenya, where you have better internet. You know, you have different. So you need to know what your business is and what your contribution is. Also, how prepared are you to train? Because a lot of people have what I call the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is they believe that they are smarter and more talented than they actually are. And then when you come to the continent of Africa, you'll find out that you're really not as bright and as smart as you are, and you're unrealistic. A lot of people think because they came from America and that Africa is Africa, that you're somehow more educated, you are an entrepreneur in America. And then when you come here, you feel like your style of education is fit for the environment. And really a lot of that goes out of the door, because the way that business transactions happen in Nairobi, it happen in Uganda, it's not the same as the West. So can you adapt to that? You know, and understand that you don't know everything, and understand that you're not as talented. Even the brightest person can come here and fail because you just don't know the market. You don't know the market. You don't know what people, how to do things. And so that's that. And then lastly, you know, how in touch are you with talented people? Like the reason why Ken-Ganda is doing better and my channel is doing better, because I have a network of very talented people that help me do things. A lot of people that are expats come to the continent, and then you hang out in the expat communities. And then you hang around, you know, people who are just other expats. I don't even hang around expats. And the reason why I don't is because if they're not doing what I'm doing, I don't have time. Mm-hmm. I have time to be around the people who are doing what I am doing. And I need to have that same drive every day. Every day I work. Every day. Sunday through Sunday, 15 to 16 hours in a day, if that's what it takes. Sometimes 17.
Wow.
Sometimes whatever. You know, because this is what I do.
I know.
And I'm very serious about my work. And so I need to be around other people who are very, very serious about the work. If you're a person who's not very serious about your work, then because you think Africa is somehow easier, you can kind of, you know, cheat the game. You can't, you know, because you have to account for the power being out, the traffic. You got to account for all those things. And you're going to be operating at like 70% of the efficiency you were in the States, depending on where you live. So, you know, how do you achieve that? How do you make up for that 30% of the time that you're losing every day? And so those things, and then also get consultations. A lot of people are cheap. You know, you're talking to me about how your mom is an expert in the poultry business. And I think a lot of people need to, if they're going to get into certain businesses, get consultations from people that write articles, that write peer journals, that those people are here. And, you know, you will notice that is the best thing to do. And, you know, watch people, and don't just watch YouTubers who are walking around struggle vlogging. A lot of YouTubers and the experts are going around struggle vlogging. Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here at the market, brother. Brother, I'm here in front of the Taco Bell, brother. These people are not business people. They're people that are struggle vlogging, and they're not very talented. You need to be around people who are talented. This is not elitist, this is being honest. It's a difference between a struggle vlogger in Africa and a person who's actually, that somebody takes serious. A lot of people who are struggle vlogging on the continent of Africa are somebody people don't take serious. So you can't leverage collaborations with people that do things. You're just only creating content for this audience, but the people, they don't take you serious. So you need to work around people who are actually serious in what they're talking about. Not people who are just struggle vlogging all around, damn Ghana, Gambia, wherever. You know what I mean? So.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Last question. Do you see yourself expanding Ken-Ganda beyond Kenya and Uganda?
Yeah, I think so, but because of what's going on with the COVID, it's going to be very difficult for that right now. Because it's even hard to even come to Kenya. So, you know, and then obviously Kenya's running very well, but, you know, African countries have different rules. So, you know, it's not a whole lot of uniformity. What happens in one country, as far as what COVID restrictions are could be different in another. You can end up missing your flight and all that stuff. So it's kind of hard to do that now. And then obviously with SARS and, you know, other places we wanted to go. So right now I think that for the next year we probably just stay in between these two places. And then maybe if we can go other places we can, but we need to win at home first.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you so much for watching that amazing episode. Check out his YouTube channel, Ken-Ganda. I'll leave a link in the description box, in the pinned comment. Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, and share out this video so that you can reach as many brothers and sisters out there. Until next time, kwaheri.
Peace.
Yango senezi makile tuzima sana nena finira cheche megwe yango senezi makile tuzima sana nena finira cheche megwe